after transmigrating into a rich family's young master. The first thing I did wasn't indulging in debauchery and enjoying life, but desperately grinding money to prepare for a clean escape. After all, anyone who's experienced transmigration knows this rule. Out of 10 young masters, 9 are fake, and the remaining 1 is an ultimate backup. But I was different. Not only was I fake, even my tycoon heiress wife ran off with the real young master. Guys, who understands this apocalyptic opening? So overnight, I drew up an escape plan and set myself a small goal. Before the divorce, squeeze 500 million out of my sucker wife, just as I happily signed the divorce agreement and was about to flee on a small yacht. My icy, stone-cold wife suddenly tore up the contract, pinned me onto the bed, and said coldly, trying to run, not a chance. From today on, I manage your bank cards. You must be home before 8 p.m. every night. And if you don't hand in enough contributions, don't even think about sleeping. What I didn't expect even more was the real young master looking at the two of us with a relieved smile. Big brother and sister-in-law really have such a great relationship. Then he cheerfully closed the bedroom door. I was speechless. Is the novel I transmigrated into even a normal one? Chapter 01. The day I transmigrated into the role of a fake young master in a wealthy family, the system gave me 2 choices. A. Stay in the Wong family and fight the soon-to-return real young master to the death, most likely ending up abused so badly there wouldn't even be scraps left of me. B. Take the money and leave, 500 million as a breakup payout. Enough for me to live freely and comfortably for 10 lifetimes. I didn't hesitate for a second and chose B. Only an idiot would pick A. In the original story, that real young master, Makoto, was a truly ruthless character. He grew up in an orphanage, psychologically twisted, and came back solely for revenge. Fight him. Me, a former corporate drone who, before transmigrating, did nothing but play video games after work, would probably die without even knowing how it happened. So at the welcome press conference the Wong family held for the real young master, when the spotlight fell on that man in a bespoke suit, his brows sharp and eyes shadowed with menace, I quietly retreated to a corner and sent a message to my lawyer. I'll sign the agreement. When will the money be transferred? The lawyer replied instantly, Mr. Wong, once you sign, the 500 million in cash will be transferred to your designated overseas account within 72 hours. Perfect. I let out a breath of relief and looked back toward the stage. Makoto was speaking, his voice low and forceful. When his gaze swept across the room, it carried the sharpness of a predator. When his eyes landed on me, I distinctly felt a chill crawl up my spine. Brother, don't look at me like that. I'm about to get lost, won't get in your way at all. Thank you all for coming to my homecoming banquet today. Makoto curled his lips into a smile devoid of warmth. And a special thanks to my brother, George Wong. Thank you for, over the past 25 years, showing filial piety on my behalf and enjoying everything that should have belonged to me. In an instant, all eyes in the room focused on me. I maintained a polite smile, while internally ranting like crazy. Here it comes, the classic public humiliation scene. Too bad I'm not playing along. Say whatever you want. Once the money's in my hands, I'm gone. George, my nominal adoptive father, the Wong Group's chairman, Millionaire Wong, walked up beside me and lowered his voice. After the press conference, come to my study. I nodded. Okay, Dad. Millionaire Wong patted my shoulder, his expression complicated. He probably did feel guilty toward me, but blood ties are sometimes just that unreasonable. After the press conference ended, I was just about to slip off to the study to sign the papers and get my money when someone stopped me. My wife, Willow. She was wearing a black evening gown today, her skin starkly pale against it, red lips striking and glamorous. We had been married for 3 months, a purely strategic marriage, with no emotional foundation. Yet the way she looked at me now carried an emotion I couldn't quite read. George. She called softly. You knew already, didn't you? I froze for a moment. Knew what? That you're not the Wong family's biological son. Willow stared straight into my eyes. That's why you've been acting so strangely lately, running to the company every day, talking about starting your own business. I was momentarily speechless. Over these 3 months, I really had been frantically grabbing as much money as I could, taking advantage of the time before my identity was exposed to milk every possible benefit. I thought I'd hidden it well. I didn't. Don't lie to me. Willow cut me off. George, we may not have feelings for each other, but we're still husband and wife. If you'd told me earlier, I could have helped you. Help me? How exactly? Go head on against the real young master. Sister, that's the original male lead with plot armor. Of course, I couldn't say that out loud. I could only reply vaguely. I only found out not long ago myself. Don't worry, I won't cling on where I don't belong. I'll take what's rightfully mine, and I won't touch a cent of what isn't. Willow opened her mouth, as if she wanted to say something more, but at that moment, Makoto walked over. Sister-in-law, he nodded to Willow. then turned his gaze to me. Brother, Dad wants us in the study. Great. Judgment time. Chapter 02. In the study sat my adoptive father, millionaire Wang, my adoptive mother, Misty, and the family lawyer. Makoto sat across from me, his legs crossed, posture lazy, but his gaze sharp as a blade. George. Millionaire Wang began, his voice carrying a hint of exhaustion. You already know the situation. Makoto is our biological son. These past years, you've been wronged. I quickly waved my hands. Not at all. Not at all. The Wang family raised me for 25 years, luxury clothes, fine food. I'm grateful beyond words. That was the truth. In the 3 months since I transmigrated here, I'd been living like a god, mansions, supercars, top-tier everything. It was a life I'd never even dared to imagine before. It's good that you see it that way, Misty said, dabbing at the corner of her eyes. Even though you're not our biological child, after all these years we've long treated you as our own. So don't worry, what should be given to you won't be lacking. The lawyer chose that moment to hand me a document. Mr. Wang, this is the property division agreement. The Wang family will make a one-time payment of 500 million in cash. In addition, all properties and vehicles under your name will remain yours. In exchange, you must give up all shares in the Wang Group and revert to your original surname. I took the agreement and skimmed through it quickly. 500 million in cash, 3 villas, 5 cars, plus some jewelry collections. More than I'd expected. No objections from me. I picked up the pen and was about to sign. Wait, Makoto suddenly spoke. My hand paused, and I looked up at him. Makoto smiled faintly. Not quite a smile. You're agreeing so readily, brother. Not even going to fight for a bit more. After all, you spent 25 years in the Wang family. Even if you don't have achievements, you at least put in the time. It sounded like concern, but I knew it was sarcasm. There's nothing to fight for. I signed my name with a bold stroke. None of this was ever mine to begin with. Returning it to its rightful owner is only right. After signing, I slid the agreement back. That's it. Then, the lawyer nodded. The money will be transferred within 72 hours. As for your marriage with Miss Liu, divorce, I said decisively. I'll leave with nothing. I'll also return all the Liu family's wedding gifts. With 500 million in hand, I didn't care about that little bit of money. George, my father frowned. Marriage isn't child's play. Willow is a good girl. You too, Dad. I interrupted him. It's precisely because I respect Willow that I can't drag her down. I have nothing now. I'm not worthy of her. That was the truth. Willow was Orange City's #1 socialite, the sole heir of the Liu Group. Divorcing a fake young master like me would only benefit her. Makoto stared at me for a few seconds, then suddenly laughed. You see things clearly, brother. Fine, then it's settled. When I walked out of the study, I felt lighter than ever. 500 million. I was a billionaire now. Real young master. Fake young master. What did that have to do with me? I was going to travel the world, buy a private island, flirt with beauties from every country. George. I turned at the sound of my name. Willow Liu was standing at the end of the corridor, clearly having waited there the whole time. I walked over. Willow. Actually, I have something to tell you. You want to divorce me? She asked first. I froze. How did you know? I heard it. Willow's expression was calm, but something churned in her eyes. George, are you really in such a hurry to get rid of me? It's not getting rid of you, it's for your own good. I explained. I'm no longer the Wang family's young master. We're no longer a good match. Divorce is the best choice for you. And what about me? Willow stepped forward, almost pressing up against me. George, these 3 months as husband and wife, did you really feel nothing at all? I caught the scent of her perfume, and my thoughts wavered. Objectively speaking, Willow was stunning, beautiful face, perfect figure. We didn't have much emotional foundation, but we'd done everything a married couple should. And in bed, she'd been quite passionate, but I couldn't soften now. Willow, don't do this. I took a step back. Just treat these 3 months as a dream. After the divorce, you can find someone better. I glanced toward the study. Makoto would be a good choice. The real young master, young, capable, and a perfect match for you. In the original story, Willow ended up with Makoto anyway. The process was brutal, but the ending was sweet. I was just spoiling it early, and giving a helping push. Willow's expression changed instantly. George, what do you take me for? A commodity that can be handed over at will? That's not what I meant. Then shut up. She cut me off. I won't sign the divorce papers. At least, not now. With that, she turned and walked away, her heels clicking crisply against the floor. I stood there, stunned. This wasn't how the plot was supposed to go. In the original story, hadn't Willow agreed to the divorce without hesitation? So why now? Could it be that I performed too well these past 3 months and made her fall for me? No way. I'd spent these 3 months busy grabbing money, barely paying attention to her. If she'd fallen for me like that, it'd be a miracle. Chapter 03. 3 days later, the 500 million hit my account. I stood in the bank's VIP room, staring at the long string of zeros in my balance, feeling like I was dreaming. Mr. Wong, how do you plan to allocate these funds? The private account manager asked respectfully. I stroked my chin and thought for a moment. Transfer 100 million to my daily use account first. As for the rest, buy some gold, some crypto, spread the risk. Understood. In addition, the properties under your name will need to be transferred, and the vehicles will require formal procedures as well. No rush on those. I waved my hand. I'm going on vacation first. I'll deal with it when I'm back. After leaving the bank, I went straight to a 4S dealership and picked up the Porsche 911 I'd had my eye on for ages. 3 million all in. Before, I wouldn't even dare think about it. Now I didn't blink once. Driving my new car, whistling all the way, I headed back home. No, not home anymore. The old Wong family estate. I needed to go back, pack my things, then find a hotel to stay at. I'd talk about the divorce once Willow cooled down. As soon as I drove into the Wong family manor, I saw Makoto standing at the entrance of the main house, with several people beside him. I parked the car, slung my backpack over my shoulder, walked over, and said, "Excuse me." Makoto stopped me. "Where are you headed, brother?" "Moving out." I replied matter-of-factly. "The agreement's signed. The money's in. I can't exactly keep freeloading here, can I?" "No need to rush." Makoto smiled. "Dad said you can stay a while longer, move after you found a suitable place." I frowned. "No need. I've already booked a hotel." "That won't do," Makoto said with feigned concern. "You've lived a pampered life since childhood. Staying in a hotel would be too much of a hardship. How about this? I have an apartment downtown. You can stay there for now." As he spoke, he handed me a set of keys. I didn't take them. "Makoto, let's be honest with each other. I know you hate me, think I stole 25 years of your life. Now I've left. You've returned. We're even. You can save the fake kindness." The smile on Makoto's face faded slightly. "Brother, that's a harsh thing to say. I genuinely want to help you." "Then thanks," I said, walking past him. "But no need. I've got money. I can handle things myself." "George." Makoto's voice turned cold. "I'm giving you face. Don't be ungrateful." I stopped, turned back, and looked at him. "What, want to fight?" The atmosphere instantly became tense, like a drawn blade. Just then, Willow walked out of the house. "What are you arguing about?" Makoto immediately put on a gentle expression. "Sister-in-law, I was trying to persuade my brother to stay a few more days. He wouldn't listen." Willow glanced at me. "If he wants to leave, let him. You can keep a person, but you can't keep their heart." That sounded a bit sour. I rubbed my nose. "Then I'm really leaving." "Get lost." Willow spat out the words, then turned and went back inside. All right. She really was angry. I slung my backpack, got into the car, started the engine, and sped off in a cloud of dust. In the rearview mirror, Makoto stood there watching me, his gaze dark and cold. My heart tightened. I had a very bad feeling. Chapter 04. I booked the presidential suite at the best 5-star hotel in Orange City, $88,000 a night, and didn't blink. Lying on the 2-meter-wide bed, I called my best friend, Luis. "Get out here for drinks. I'm buying." Luis was someone I got to know after transmigrating. His family ran a building materials business, a classic rich kid. No real scheming, just loved to play around. Half an hour later, we met at the most expensive bar in Orange City. "George, I heard that you," Luis trailed off. "Heard I'm not the Wong family's biological son." I finished for him. "Yep, it's true. I'm broke now, just got a bit of money left." Luis burst out laughing. "George, you're hilarious. 500 million is just a bit of money. Then what am I with my tens of millions, a beggar?" I laughed too. "All right, cut it out. Tonight, we drink till we drop. Everything's on me. Big spender." "George." We ordered the most expensive liquor, called over the prettiest girls, and partied until 2 in the morning. Luis was dead drunk by then, completely out cold. I, on the other hand, was still clear-headed. 500 million tends to keep the adrenaline going. When it was time to pay, the bill nearly gave me a heart attack. 880,000. Holy hell, was this place robbing people? But I'd already talked big, so I could only grit my teeth and swipe the card. After sending Luis home, I went back to the hotel and passed out. The next morning, I was woken up by a phone call. "Mr. Wong, this is the Wong Group's lawyer." The voice on the other end was grave. "There's something we need to inform you about. Mr. Makoto requested a re-audit this morning of your financial dealings with the Wong Group over the past 3 years." I was instantly wide awake. "What does that mean?" "Makoto suspects that during your tenure, you used your position to misappropriate company funds." The lawyer paused. "And he claims to have evidence." I jumped out of bed, furious. "Bullshit. Yeah, I took some money, but it was all legitimate dividends and bonuses. Misappropriating funds. Am I insane?" "Mr. Wong, please calm down. The evidence Makoto provided shows that last month, you transferred 50 million from a company account to a shell company called Fengxing." I froze. Fengxing, wasn't that Luis's dad's company? Last month, Luis came to me saying his father's company was having cash flow problems and wanted to borrow 50 million as a short-term bridge loan, promising to pay it back within a month, with 2 million in interest. The interest was tempting, so I agreed and transferred the money under the name of a Wang Group subsidiary. That move really wasn't clean. At the time, I figured I was leaving soon anyway, might as well grab what I could. I didn't expect Makoto to seize on it. Mr. Wang, the lawyer continued, Makoto's position is very clear. If you're willing to return the 500 million breakup payment and issue a public apology, he's willing not to press charges. Otherwise what? Otherwise, you may face criminal liability. Misappropriating 50 million carries a sentence of 5 years or more. I clenched my phone, my hand shaking, not from fear, from rage. Makoto, that bastard. I already took the initiative to get out, and he still wouldn't let me go. Mr. Wang, tell him, I said through gritted teeth, I won't return a single cent. If he wants to sue, let him. But remind him of this too. Corner a rabbit and it'll bite. Don't push me too far. After hanging up, I paced back and forth in the room, seething. No, I couldn't just sit and wait to die. Makoto was trying to wipe me out completely, take back the 500 million and send me to prison. Ruthless. But I wasn't someone to mess with either. These 3 months since transmigrating, I hadn't just been busy grabbing money. I knew quite a few dirty secrets inside the Wang Group. For example, why did Makoto's adoptive mother swap the babies back then? Was it really an accident? For example, millionaire Wang's younger brother, my so-called second uncle, had long been eyeing the chairman's position. Was he colluding with Makoto? And for example, how many shady deals were hidden behind the Wang Group's major projects? I didn't have hard evidence yet, but as long as I dug, I'd find something. Makoto, if you want to play, I'll play with you. Chapter 05. The first person I contacted was Luis. George, I really didn't know about this. Luis was practically crying on the phone. That 50 million, my dad already paid it back long ago. Principal plus interest, 52 million. Not a cent missing. Which account did it go to? I asked. The one you gave me, the Wang Group subsidiary account. I checked. The money had indeed arrived, but just yesterday, it had been transferred out again. Where to? No trace. It was obvious Makoto had tampered with it. Luis, I need you to do something for me now, I said. Go check who Makoto was in contact with before he returned to the country, especially my second uncle in the Wang family, Diego. George, are you planning to? He's coming after me. I can't just sit here and wait to die, I sneered. Oh, and help me find a few reliable private investigators. Money's not an issue. Got it. After hanging up, I called Willow. It rang for a long time before she answered, her voice cold. What is it? Willow, I need a favor. Why should I help you? Because we're still married. I improvised quickly. If I go to prison, you'll be a criminal spouse. That won't look good for the Lu Group. There was a few seconds of silence on the other end. Then Willow laughed. George, you really have a thick skin. No choice, I'm being forced into it. I sighed. Makoto wants to sue me for misappropriating funds. 50 million. That's at least 5 years. Her laughter faded. He's really that ruthless. Even worse. I explained everything. Willow, I know I'm not really in a position to ask you for help, but enough. Willow cut me off. 8 tonight. Same old place. The old place was a private restaurant we used to frequent before getting married. Amazing food. Very discreet. At 8 that evening, I arrived right on time. Willow was already waiting in the private room, dressed simply in a white shirt and jeans. No makeup, but still stunningly beautiful. Sit. She gestured to the seat across from her. I sat down and got straight to the point. I need the Lu Group's legal team. Fine. Willow Lu agreed without hesitation. But I have one condition. What condition? The divorce agreement. Don't sign it for now. Willow looked at me. We'll talk about it after this is resolved. I frowned. Why? I have nothing now. I'm a burden to you. Whether you're a burden or not is for me to decide. Willow poured herself a cup of tea. George, I've been watching you these past 3 months. You love money, but you have principles. You're smooth, but not sinister. Compared to someone like Makoto, who hides knives behind his smile, I'd rather work with you. I was stunned. This was the first time anyone had ever described me like that. So, Willow asked, what's your choice? I took a deep breath. Pleasure doing business. Wife. Willow smiled, this time, a genuine smile. Pleasure doing business. Husband. Chapter 06. With the Lu Group's legal team on board, things immediately became much easier. The lead attorney's surname was Mu. In his 50s, a heavyweight in the field, undefeated in court. Mr. Wang, I've reviewed your situation, Attorney Mu said, adjusting his glasses. From a legal standpoint, Makoto's chain of evidence is incomplete. That 50 million transfer does carry your signature, but it went through standard approval procedures, and the funds have already been returned. It's very difficult to constitute the crime of misappropriation of funds. I said. But he could still accuse me of abusing my position for personal gain. Correct. Attorney Mu nodded. That's why we need to prove this was a legitimate commercial transaction, not personal embezzlement. That Luis you mentioned, does his father's company have business dealings with the Wong Group? Yes. I pulled out my phone. Here's last year's cooperation contract, 30 million. This year it was renewed for 50 million. The money I transferred was, in name, an advance payment for goods. Excellent. Attorney Mu made a note. Also, regarding Makoto, I found something interesting. What is it? Before returning to the country, he worked at an investment bank on Wall Street. Attorney Mu lowered his voice. That bank was exposed last month in an insider trading scandal. Makoto was one of the project leads involved. My eyes lit up. Do you have proof? We're still investigating, Attorney Mu said. But if this checks out, it'll be a bombshell. After the meeting, Willow drove me back to the hotel. In the car, she suddenly asked, George, if you win this, what do you plan to do? Take the money and run. I replied without hesitation. 500 million is enough for a lifetime. And then, she asked. And then, I thought for a moment. Travel the world, buy a private island, become a happily useless rich guy. Willow was silent for a while before speaking again. Have you ever considered staying? I turned to look at her. Neon lights outside the window flickered across her face. Willow, why do you want me to stay? I asked. Don't tell me you've fallen for me. I won't believe it. Willow smiled. Why not? You're handsome, a bit greedy. Sure, but not a bad person. And most importantly, she paused before continuing. You respect me. These past 3 months, you never forced me to do anything I didn't want to do. In marriages among wealthy families, that's rare. I was momentarily speechless. She wasn't wrong. Even though ours was a business marriage, I had always respected her. When she didn't want to share a room, I never touched her. When she wanted to work, I gave her space. When she wanted to be alone, I entertained myself, not because I was noble, but because I knew forcing things only made them bitter. Willow pulled the car to a stop in front of the hotel and said, So, think about it carefully. Staying might bring some surprises. She leaned over and kissed me on the cheek. Good night, husband. Then she hit the gas and drove off. Clean and decisive. I stood there, touching the spot she'd kissed, my heart beating a little faster. Fuck, this woman really knows how to flirt. Chapter 07. Over the next week, Makoto and I officially went to war. He sued me for abusing my position for personal gain. I countersued him for defamation. Both sides' lawyers clashed fiercely in court, and the media covered it nonstop. It became the biggest piece of gossip in Orange City. That day, as soon as the hearing ended and I stepped out of the courthouse, reporters swarmed me. Mr. Wong, Makoto has accused you of occupying the Wong family's assets for 25 years. How do you respond? Mr. Wong, there are rumors that you and Ms. Willow are about to divorce. Is that true? Mr. Wong, it said you've already moved out of the Wong residence and are currently staying at a hotel. Does this mean you've completely broken ties with the Wong family? I stopped, faced the cameras, and put on a textbook smile. First, I did not occupy any assets. For the past 25 years, I genuinely believed I was a member of the Wong family. Everything I enjoyed was given to me by my parents. Second, Willow and I have a good relationship and have no immediate plans to divorce. And finally, I looked toward Makoto, who was standing not far away. Some people are using any means necessary to destroy me, but I won't let them succeed, because the innocent remain innocent, and the guilty will reveal themselves. With that, I pushed past the reporters and headed for the parking lot. Makoto chased after me. George, you're ruthless. Takes one to know one. I pulled open the car door. Makoto, I'll say this one last time. I don't want to fight you. I've already taken the 500 million. Everything in the Wong family is yours. We're even. Push me any further, and don't blame me for getting ugly. Makoto sneered. You think I care about the Wong family's scraps? What I want is to ruin you completely, to make you taste the suffering I endured for 25 years. Right. Twisted psyche. No point talking sense. I shook my head, got into the car, and drove off. I'd only gone 2 blocks when Luis called. George, we found it. Before Makoto returned to the country, he met Diego 3 times, once in New York, twice in Hong Kong. Do you have evidence? Photos, Luis said excitedly. I had someone pull them from hotel surveillance footage. They're blurry, but you can tell it's them. Send them to me. As soon as I received the photos, I forwarded them to Attorney Mu. An hour later, Mu called back. Mr. Wong, things just got interesting. I found that Diego has recently been dumping Wong Group shares in large quantities, cashing out at least 1 billion. And after Makoto returned, he registered a new company whose core business completely overlaps with the Wong Group's. I understood immediately. They're planning to hollow out the Wong Group and start over with a new shell. Very likely, Mu said. And I suspect that Makoto isn't actually millionaire Wong's biological son. What? I was stunned. This is just a hypothesis, but the timeline doesn't match. Mu explained. Millionaire Wang and Misty's son was born in June 25 years ago, but Makoto's birth certificate shows he was born in May. It's only a 1-month difference, but if Makoto really was the swapped baby, why would he be born a month earlier? My mind raced. Unless Makoto isn't the swapped child at all, but a fake Diego found from who knows where. That's possible, Mu said. I'm already investigating Makoto's real identity. It'll take some time. After hanging up, my emotions were complicated. If Makoto really was a fake, then hadn't the Wang couple been deceived all over again? And more importantly, where was the real Wang family's young master? Chapter 08. 3 days later, an even bigger upheaval arrived. The Wang Group suddenly issued an announcement. Chairman Millionaire Wang had been hospitalized due to a sudden heart attack, and the company would temporarily be managed by Vice Chairman Diego. At the same time, Makoto entered the board of directors as the eldest son and was appointed the new CEO. Anyone with eyes could see it. This was a coup. I went to the hospital to visit my father, but I was stopped outside the ward. Mr. Wang, the CEO has given instructions, the bodyguard said expressionlessly. No one except immediate family members is allowed to visit. I laughed in anger. I'm the son he raised for 25 years. I don't count as immediate family. Makoto said you're no longer a member of the Wang family. Fine. Ruthless enough. Just as I was about to force my way in, Willow arrived. Let him in. Willow Lu said coldly. I'm the president of the Lu Group and the Wang family's daughter-in-law. If I say he can go in, he goes in. The bodyguard hesitated, then stepped aside. Inside the ward, Millionaire Wang lay on the hospital bed, tubes running all over his body, his face pale. Misty sat by the bed, her eyes swollen red. She had clearly been crying. When she saw me, Misty froze. Then tears spilled out again. George, Mom. I walked over. How's Dad? The doctor said it was an acute myocardial infarction. Misty said, holding Millionaire Wang's hand. They managed to save him, but his condition is unstable. Makoto said it was because he was stimulated by what happened with you. Bullshit. I couldn't help swearing. Mom, do you believe that? I know Dad's health better than anyone. His annual checkups were always fine. How could he suddenly have a heart attack? Misty didn't answer, just cried. I sighed. Mom, there are some things I can't say right now, but you need to be careful of Makoto and Diego. Before I could finish, Makoto walked in. When he saw me, his expression darkened. Who let you in here? I did. Willow stepped in, standing in front of me. Makoto, Dad is sick. George is his son. Him coming to visit is only natural. Makoto sneered. Son, just a fake. Sister-in-law, I suggest you stop meddling. This is Wang family business. How convenient. I'm also part of the Wang family. Willow refused to budge. George and I aren't divorced yet. Legally, I'm still the Wang family's daughter-in-law. On the contrary, Makoto, Dad just fell ill and you're already rushing to take over the company. Isn't that a bit too eager? Makoto's gaze turned cold. What are you implying? Exactly what it sounds like. Willow took out her phone. I just got word that Diego dumped Wang Group shares worth $500 million over the past 2 days, and your new company just happened to receive $500 million in investment. What a coincidence. Makoto's face changed. You investigated me. So what if I did? I cut in. Makoto, do you really think you covered your tracks perfectly? Let me tell you, every bit of your dirty business. I know it all. Makoto stared at me for a few seconds, then suddenly laughed. George, even if you know, so what? The Wang Group is in my hands now. Dad is lying in a hospital bed. Mom knows nothing. You, a fake kicked out of the family, what can you possibly do to me? It was arrogant, but it was also true. The situation was entirely in his favor. Is that so? I smiled back. Then let's wait and see. Chapter 09. After leaving the hospital, I asked Willow, that news about the $500 million investment, was it real? Yes. Willow nodded. The people I planted inside the Wang Group sent it back. Makoto's new company is called Inxi Capital. Its registered capital is $1 billion. Diego holds 40%, and Makoto holds 60%. $1 billion. I frowned. Where did Diego get that much money? He siphoned it from the Wang Group. Willow said. Lawyer Mu found that over the past 6 months, Diego transferred at least $2 billion from the Wang Group under the name of Project Investments. $1 billion was injected into Inxi Capital. As for the rest, its whereabouts are unknown. Good Lord, he's trying to drain the Wang Group dry. Have you reported it to the police? I asked. Not yet. There's no solid evidence. Willow shook her head. Diego did everything too cleanly. Every transfer has a legitimate contract on the surface. Unless we find direct evidence of asset embezzlement, it'll be very hard to open a case. I thought for a moment. I have a way. What way? Lure the snake out of its hole. Chapter 10. My plan was simple. Pretend I was completely cornered. Go negotiate with Makoto, and beg him to let me off. Then, during the negotiation, lead him into talking and secretly record everything as evidence. The trick was old-fashioned, But it should work on someone as arrogant as Makoto. I arranged to meet Makoto at a private club in the suburbs. Using the excuse that I wanted to discuss a deal, Makoto showed up as expected, bringing only one bodyguard. Inside the private room, I poured him a glass of wine and said, "Makoto, let's stop fighting. I admit defeat." Makoto raised an eyebrow. "Oh, and how exactly are you admitting defeat?" "The 500 million breakup fee. I can return 400 million, I said, putting on a pained expression. "Let me keep 100 million for my retirement." "All right." Makoto laughed. "George, do you really think I care about that bit of money?" "Then what do you want?" I asked. "I want you ruined," Makoto said, swirling his wine glass. "I want you to kneel down and beg me, just like I did for 25 years in the orphanage, kneeling every day and begging for handouts." There it was, playing the misery card. I followed his lead. "You really did have it hard all these years. But your mother, I mean, the person who switched you at birth, why did she do it? Was Diego involved?" Makoto's eyes flickered. "Why are you asking this?" "Curiosity." I shrugged. "I got dragged into this mess too. I should at least know why I'm so unlucky, right?" Makoto stared at me for a few seconds, then suddenly laughed. "Fine. I might as well tell you. Yes, it was Diego Wong who arranged it 25 years ago. He stole me from my biological parents and swapped me with millionaire Wong's son. The purpose was so that one day, he could use me to control the Wong group. And your biological parents? Dead." Makoto's face was expressionless. "A car accident. Diego arranged it." I sucked in a sharp breath. This was even more ruthless than the original story. "So," Makoto leaned closer to me. "George, tell me, shouldn't I hate them? Shouldn't I take revenge? The Wong family owes me. I'll take it back 100-fold, 1,000-fold. Including killing my father?" I asked. Makoto smiled. "That old bastard. Don't worry, I won't let him die so easily. I want him to watch with his own eyes as everything he worked for his entire life gets destroyed by me." Brutal. Quietly, I pressed the stop button on the recorder hidden in my pocket. Evidence secured. Chapter 11. After obtaining the recording, I immediately handed it over to Lawyer Mu. "This recording can't be used as direct evidence," Lawyer Mu said, "but it can serve as a lead to apply for an investigation into Diego and Makoto. Also, I checked, Makoto's biological parents did indeed die in a car accident, but the official accident report ruled it an accident. Can the case be reopened?" I asked. "It'll be very difficult. Too much time has passed." Lawyer Mu shook his head. "However, we can start from other angles. For example, regarding Diego's misappropriation of funds, I've already found several witnesses who are willing to testify." "Good," I nodded. "Collect the evidence as quickly as possible. I want to send all of them in before the next board meeting." Over the following week, we focused all our efforts on gathering evidence. There was good news from Luis as well. He found the former head of the orphanage where Makoto had lived. The men confirmed that when Makoto was 6 years old, he had once been adopted by a couple, but after 3 months, the couple returned him, citing a gloomy personality and difficulty in discipline. "What were that couple's names?" I asked. "The man's surname was Law. The woman's surname was Ku," Luis said. The director remembered it clearly because the men drove a Mercedes back then and looked very wealthy. "Law. Diego's wife's surname is Law." All the clues connected. I organized all the evidence and prepared to make my move at the Wong Group's next board meeting. But the day before the meeting, something happened. Willow was kidnapped. Chapter 12. The kidnapper's call came straight to my phone. "George, if you want your wife alive, bring the recording and all the evidence in exchange. Tomorrow at 3 in the afternoon. The abandoned scrapyard in the western suburbs. Come alone. Call the police, and you can prepare to collect the body." Clenching my phone, I said, "I want to hear Willow's voice." Willow's voice came through the line. "George, don't come. They are." She was cut off before she could finish. The kidnapper sneered. "You heard her, right? See you tomorrow. Remember, alone." The call ended. I stood there, my mind completely blank. Lawyer Mu walked over. "Mr. Wong, call the police." "No." I shook my head. "They'll really kill her. But if you go alone, it's far too dangerous." "I have a way," I said. In truth, I didn't really have a plan, but I knew one thing: I had to go. Willow was dragged into this because of me. I couldn't let anything happen to her. Chapter 13. At 3 o'clock the next afternoon, I arrived at the abandoned scrapyard in the western suburbs right on time. The place had been deserted for years. Rusted car wrecks were scattered everywhere, creating a gloomy, terrifying atmosphere. I carried a briefcase in my hand. Inside was fake evidence. The real stuff had already been backed up long ago. "I'm here," I called out loudly. "Where's Willow?" Several masked men stepped out from behind the wrecked cars. The one in front was holding a knife. "Did you bring the stuff?" he asked. "I did." I raised the briefcase. "Where's Willow?" The masked man gave a signal. Another man dragged Willow out. Her hands were tied behind her back, her mouth sealed with tape, but she didn't seem injured. When she saw me, She shook her head desperately, panic filling her eyes. I smiled at her slightly, signaling for her not to worry. Give it to me, the masked man said, reaching out. Release her first. You think you can negotiate with me, you bastard? The masked man flew into a rage. Believe it or not, I can kill her right now. If you kill her, you won't get the stuff, I said calmly. And since I dared to come, I came prepared. I'm wearing a tracker. If I don't leave within an hour, the police will come. The masked man froze, clearly not expecting that. I was lying. I didn't have any tracker on me at all. I was gambling on the fact that they wouldn't dare take the risk. Sure enough, the masked man hesitated. Just then, the sound of police sirens suddenly rang out. The masked man's face changed instantly. You called the cops. I didn't. I was stunned too, but the police really had arrived. More than a dozen police cars surrounded the scrapyard. Everyone inside. Listen up. You are surrounded. Drop your weapons and release the hostage. The masked men panicked. One of them grabbed Willow and pressed the knife to her neck. Nobody come any closer, or I'll kill her. The situation reached a deadlock. Taking advantage of the moment, I slowly moved closer. Brother, calm down. If you put the knife down now, at most it's attempted kidnapping. You won't get that many years. But if you hurt someone, that's a serious felony. Shut up. The masked man's hand was trembling. I seized the timing and suddenly lunged forward, grabbing the hand holding the knife. The other kidnappers tried to rush in to help, but the police were already storming the scene. In the chaos, I felt a sudden cold sensation in my abdomen. I looked down. The knife had gone in. Fuck, that really hurt. George, Willow screamed. I collapsed onto the ground, my consciousness slowly fading. The last thing I saw was the police subduing the kidnappers, and Willow running toward me, her face covered in tears. Worth it. Chapter 14. I lay in the hospital for a week. That stab wound had missed my vital organs by just 1 centimeter. The doctor said that if it had gone even a little deeper, I would have been dead. Willow came every day to keep me company, feeding me, helping wipe me down, more attentive than a professional caregiver. Feeling a little embarrassed, I spoke up. You really don't have to do all this. I can manage on my own. Shut up. Willow shot me a glare. You got hurt because of me. Taking care of you is only right. Then, about the divorce. Mention divorce again and I'll throw you out the window. Willow threatened. I laughed, which pulled at my wound and made me grimace in pain. Just then, Lawyer Mu arrived with good news. Mr. Wong, the kidnappers have confessed. It was Diego who ordered it. The police have already arrested both him and Makoto. The charges include kidnapping, misappropriation of funds, and commercial fraud, with multiple offenses combined. They're looking at a minimum of 20 years. What about the Wong Group? I asked. Mr. Wong has been discharged and has resumed control of the company, Lawyer Mu said. He asked me to pass on a message. The Wong family will always be your home, and you will always be his son. My nose stung. And there's more. Lawyer Mu hesitated for a moment. There's been a new discovery regarding Makoto's background. What kind of discovery? We found his biological mother, Lawyer Mu said. She's still alive and lives in the countryside. 25 years ago, she was a nanny for the Wong family and swapped the babies under Diego Wong's orders. But she never imagined that Diego would steal her own child as well. Then the real young master of the Wong family. He's been found too. Lawyer Mu handed me a photograph. His name is David. He's a programmer working in Shenzhen. Mr. Wong has already met him, and DNA testing confirmed their biological relationship. I looked at the young man in the photo. His eyebrows and eyes really did resemble millionaire Wong's. Is he willing to return to the Wong family? I asked. Yes. Lawyer Mu nodded. But he said he needs some time to adjust. That's good. A perfect, happy ending. Chapter 15. A month later, I was discharged from the hospital. The Wong family hosted a family banquet to celebrate my recovery and to welcome the real young master, David, home. At the banquet, millionaire Wong announced publicly, George may not be my biological son, but I raised him for 25 years. To me, there's no difference. So I've decided, 30% of the Wong Group's shares will go to George, 30% to David. The remaining 40% I'll keep for my retirement. I was stunned. Dad, that's too much. It's not, millionaire Wong said, patting my shoulder. You've earned it. And besides, I have another task for you. What task? Help David get familiar with the company's business. Millionaire Wong said with a smile. That kid is too introverted, he needs you to guide him. I looked at David. He smiled at me shyly. All right then. Having one more younger brother isn't so bad. After the banquet, Willow drove me home, not to a hotel, but to the apartment we bought when we got married. The marital home I had never really lived in before. Willow, there's something I want to tell you, I said seriously in the car. If it's about divorce, forget it. Willow cut in first. It's not about divorce. I held her hand. I just want to say, thank you. Thank you for helping me when I was at my lowest. Thank you for not giving up on me. Willow smiled. Then how do you plan to thank me? How about offering myself for life? I asked. I suppose that barely qualifies. Willow parked the car, leaned over, and kissed me. But the term is a lifetime. No backing out. No backing out, I said, deepening the kiss. A lifetime is too short. Next life, the one after that, I'm sticking to you in all of them. The moonlight outside the window was just right. From a fake young master to a real husband, the road I walked was full of danger and turbulence. But the ending was perfect. As for that 500 million breakup fee, I donated it long ago, setting up a charitable foundation to help children in orphanages. Money, what you bring with you in life, you can't take with you in death. What matters is that I found something far more precious than money. Family, love, and this woman who always talks back to me, yet cries her eyes out whenever I get hurt. George, I love you. I love you too. The moonlight was gentle, and the rest of our lives stretched long ahead.